Hey, welcome to Killin, an entrepreneurial journey. Today, we're talking to Lisa, owner of Quoth the Writer. What is the story behind your interesting name, Quoth the Writer?
Quoth the Writer comes from my love and I guess my passion for Edgar Allan Poe. I've always been a big fan of his, especially when I learned that me and him share the same birthday. I became a huge fan of his. And The Raven is my favorite poem from him. Quoth the Raven, nevermore. Love that line. And when I decided to start this business and, think of a name, it just kind of came to me. I was like, all right, how can I incorporate my love for Edgar Allan Poe, Quoth, the writer? It works. Let's go with it. And I was like, looking up, doing my research, making sure I'm not stealing from anybody or doing anything like that. And it was available, so I went with it.
Oh, that's awesome. Can you explain the journey that led you to become a full-time editor?
Absolutely. So it all really started while I was in college. I worked for my college's literary journal called the Literary Review, and I was going to Fairleigh Dickinson in Madison. While there, I was an office assistant, so I was just doing like filing and making copies, scanning, odd and ed jobs.
Yeah.
And every so often, they were like, "Hey, Lise, do you want to proofread the master copy? Help us out." Okay, sure, why not? And they taught me, what marks to make and stuff like that. And as I was doing it, I kind of fell in love with it. And I did my internship through them. And one of the many things they had me do was edit an entire story for the next journal that was about to come out. I had one of the editors next to me, and, he helped me out if I had any questions, or if he saw I did something wrong, he would correct me. But after a while, he's like, "Yeah, you're good. Go have fun." And,
nice.
And I fell in love with doing that. And then when I graduated from college back in 2009, unfortunately, it was during the recession. So there was nothing available. Mm-hmm. I wanted to get into the publishing business and continue doing that and continue being like an office assistant, move up to being like an editor and all that. And just no matter where I went, no matter what type of job it was, whether I was qualified or not, I couldn't get a thing. It was terrible. It sucked, to say the least. So at that time, whatever job came to me, I took it.
Yeah.
Then about 3 or 4 years ago, one of my best friends went back to college. She went to go get her master's in teaching, which she's about to graduate in May for. I'm so excited for her.
Oh, cool.
And she was talking about how she's got to write all these papers and she's not confident because she doesn't think her writing is, good and everything. And I said to her, I did go to school for that. I can help you if you want me to. Yeah. And pretty much the rest is history from there. It grew from there. I fell in love. I was like, I need to do this more often. Like, I'm done with the whole 9 to 5 and working in retail and being yelled at when I did nothing wrong. And I was just done. And unfortunately, I got fired from my job in 2017, but that was just like the opener I needed, in order to really start doing this full time. And I did. And I'm so happy, so thankful, so everything, all the good words. I'm so blessed to be doing what I love.
That's excellent.
Thank you.
What do you do most often?
Well, right now, actually, what's funny is I'm working on expanding Quoth the Writer to do a little bit more than just editing and proofreading, because I've been working with a client where I've been doing more than that. I've been helping her write one of her stories that she did years ago. And I'm helping her with another story, helping it do fundraising and promote it and, so much more. Right now, I guess I would say my big thing right now is novels, since that's what I am working on right now. But I am looking to expand and do more with my business, especially since I think that's what fellow authors need. They don't need somebody to just do editing and proofreading. They need somebody who can do so much more and help them out so much more.
Absolutely. That's phenomenal.
Thank you.
So what is your favorite genre?
Ooh. Personally, favorite genre to write, I would say more suspense, thriller, horror type stuff.
Ooh, nice.
Favorite genre to read? I love just fiction. I love reading a story that was created from somebody's mind and seeing what they can create. It's beautiful because we all have different ways of writing, different ways of telling stories, and different stories in general. And I read one back in January called Frostblood by Ellie Blake.
Ooh.
And I honestly never read fantasy. I felt like I wasn't that type of person to read a story like that.
Yeah.
And I read it and I fell in love because the world that she came up with is so amazing and her writing is so beautifully done. Honestly, go pick it up. I reviewed it. And if you want to read the review, go to my website. But honestly, it's such a great book. I read another novel that was kind of like a memoir. So honestly, I don't have a favorite genre. I love fiction, but besides that, I'm open to reading anything. I love everything.
So you yourself are writing a novel as well.
I am. I'm writing several because as a new story comes into my head, I have to write it down or otherwise it's gone forever.
Yeah, I get that. I'm currently working on like 5.
Yeah, sounds about right. When I do get a new idea, I'm like, all right, let me just write down the premise. That way I know what I need to do when I go back to it in 20 years.
Yeah, right? Exactly.
But yeah, I guess the main 3 that I'm working on, all 3 are trilogies.
Nice.
And one of them is a story that I'm calling The Disappearance, which is about a girl and 3 of her friends going away on vacation in Washington State. They're at a nice cabin, enjoying the vacation, enjoying life. And then her friends decide to leave her. And she stays hoping that they will come back. They can go home, live out their lives. And something else decides to find her. And that's all I'm saying about that. The other story I'm working on, I've actually started working on back in high school.
Oh, wow.
And right now it's being called The Vampire from Hell. And obviously about vampires, because, vampires are the best thing ever.
Exactly.
But that one's pretty much just 2 vampires fighting over one girl. There's obviously more to it, but I'm working on that. And then the other one that I'm working on is being called The Fraternity. That's newer, that I actually came up with after having one of plethora of dreams that I have that come up with stories. And it's pretty much me and my husband as assassins.
Does he know this?
He does.
Is he cool with that?
He's like, oh, okay, I can work with this. He's like, do I die? I'm like, no, you don't die. Don't worry. I think that's the main concern whenever you're with friends as a writer. Everybody's like, so am I getting ran into the book? If I am, do I die? No, you're fine. Don't worry.
Exactly.
You're fine. I keep you alive for now.
What was your inspiration to write any of the 3 of your novels that you're currently working on?
Honestly, they all came from 5-second dreams that I had, or at least they felt like 5-second dreams. Meanwhile, they probably were like an hour-long dream, but I have very vivid dreams at times. And when I do, I'm able to turn them into either this trilogy or into this short story.
Do you have any specific ritual while working?
I try to. I try to make sure I have my tea every morning as I'm working. That gets cold because it starts sitting there and I forget about it.
Yeah.
I try to make a schedule for myself. That way I know things are getting done, but there's times where I start working on something and then it just kind of evolves and I'm like, all right, it's 2:00. I need to stop. But wait, I need to do more with this. So I can't stop yet. So I try to get some sort of ritual going, but it hasn't really succeeded as of yet.
Yeah, I get that too.
And at this point now, it's just like, all right, you know what? I know what needs to get done. I write a to-do list out every week. That way I know what I should get done in that week and work on everything. And hopefully by the end of the week, everything's done. If not, it gets moved over to next week and hopefully it gets done next week.
Yeah, that's all you can do, really.
Exactly.
How do you balance writing and editing for your clients and also your own writing?
I try to do it where the morning is dedicated to my business, to Quoth the Writer, to my clients, to my blogging, to all that. And then later in the afternoon, evening, I get towards my writing. Again, I just get so caught up with everything that unfortunately doesn't happen. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to separate it where there's a 3-hour span that I'm doing work for my business. There's a 3-hour span I'm doing work for my writing. And then a 3-hour span I'm doing work for my blog. But, it is what it is.
Labor of love, right?
Exactly.
How can people get in touch with you for more information about your service and your writing?
There's definitely a couple of ways. You can definitely check out my website, writer Lisa Hodorovych. www.wixsite.com/Lisa-H-author. That's my author website. My business website, same start, writer Lisa Hodorovych.wixsite.com/Quoth the Writer LLC, all one word. Also, I have an Instagram, I have Twitter. My Instagram username tag is @thewriterslife87. My Twitter handle is @LisaH_writer87. I'm also working on my blog website, which is going to be called quothewriterbookraeviews.com. It's up, but it's not. Like, I'm still working on it. So if you go there, you'll see it. There's nothing there, but that is something hopefully by next week will be set up.
That's phenomenal. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Is there anything else that you would like to add?
As cheesy, as corny, as this is repeated over and over again, for the love of God, do not ever give up on your dreams. I mean, there was a point in time, especially when I started doing this business, that was like, especially when I wasn't really making any money, bills were coming in, I couldn't pay, and I was frightened half to death because, how am I supposed to pay bills when there's no money?
Exactly.
I was ready to give up and just go find another 9 to 5 and just deal with it. But I persisted. Thank God for my husband. He backed me 110%. And he's like, don't you dare stop because you're going to regret it. And I didn't stop. And here I am. I have a couple of clients. I'm about to start my blog. I'm about to get published. And I'm so thrilled with everything. And like I said, if I just gave up, I wouldn't be here right now. You know what? I said, excuse my language. Fuck everybody. Fuck what everybody thinks. I'm doing what's right for me. I'm doing what makes me happy, what I love, what's my passion, and I'm going with it.
That's excellent.
Thank you. So yeah, just as cliche as it sounds, do not give up. And if people are making you give up, maybe they shouldn't be in your life.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Whether they're family, friends, whoever it is, those are negative people that you don't need in your life. And you need the positive people to really be there for you. Honestly, if you ever need a real good swift kick in the butt, Gary Vee and Mel Robbins have helped me through so much. Definitely look them up and they'll give you that nice swift kick in the butt that you might need.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Thank you very much, Lisa, for being on the show. And we anticipate your book coming out.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
You're listening to Killin, an entrepreneurial journey. And once again, that was Lisa, owner of Quoth the Writer. Thanks for listening. And if you want to hear more, please like, share, and subscribe.